I've got a question for you. As a beat maker, producer, what would you do with at least 50% more time on your hands? Maybe you would invest it back into production and actually finish a beat. Anyone else guilty of that? Just maybe we could find enough inner strength to stop arsing about trying to find that perfect snare. Guilty as charged. Take me away.
I'm ashamed.
What if we could stay in the creative flow instead of having to mess around with monotonous actions, the click of the mouse, all those kind of things? And it's not just about being fast, being efficient for efficient's sake. That's pointless. It's about being effective. That's why I'm really passionate about this subject and want to start to dig that little bit deeper. It starts here with this. Keyboard shortcuts. Yes, I know, just bear with me because it's maybe not what you think. It completely baffles me the amount of incredible producers that I see online or in tutorials who do the same steps, the same monotonous actions over and over again, and I think, why? Unless you're an absolute sweat with unbelievable mouse skills, why wouldn't you want to take control of speeding up your workflow with keyboard shortcuts? So let's get into it. I'm going to do a real world example for you. Okay, great stuff. Let's take this beat that I'm working on as an example. Hopefully you know, spacebar to press play and spacebar to stop. But I've got quite a few advanced sort of key combinations and things like that. So, for example, I can press obviously space to stop, but then T sends me straight back to the beginning. I have R to record. So say like if we're playing this beat and if I was to press record now, we would overwrite everything on this track. Because the plus sign here at the top is not on. So as I'm sort of riffing around and working through, and I realise if I press E, that turns that on for me. So what I can do then is press R to record, and you can see that that's kind of adding, but I'm out of time a little bit, so I'm going to press stop. I'm going to press Control Z or Control Z for my American brother and sisters. Press T again, and we're going to press Y because I've mapped that to the metronome. And so hopefully now we can be in a little bit more time. So then if I kind of go, yeah, I want to do something around that, record. And then you get the idea, then T, and then we can do that, and then I can press Y to take the metronome off, and then I can press E to be able to do that. And you can see, rather than kind of coming up here and doing that, and then sort of saying, okay, well, we need to press that, and then we need to go back to the beginning, and let's record that way. It's just so much more simple. And as a little cheeky bonus as well, Shift Tab to be able to get back from that view. I've sort of shared that on another video. And I think on the same video, I shared about something called Shortcut Buddy, which I've used for ages. And there's all the different alternatives if you have Ableton Live Standard but with the additional purchase of Max for Live, or if you have Ableton Live Suite, then Max for Live comes with it. You can use so many utilities and instruments and all sorts of cool stuff that people program. So this Shortcut Buddy means for me that, say like again we're working on this and want to do, and I'm like, actually, you know what, I need to just work on the volume thing. Great, do that. I press 1. 2 is an EQ for me, so put the gain on. 2 is EQ for me, so when I do that and I go, oh, okay, I want to sidechain it to the kick, so I'm already ready to go, so I can just input to the kick. 4 is an auto filter if we just want to take some of that off, and then 5 if you want to add some upwards and downwards compression, then 6 if you want to bus compress it, and then 7 to standard clip. Like, you get the idea. Again, rather than kind of coming up here and going, oh, I need EQ8, so EQ8, and then drag it in or double click it. And another thing even on this is that say if you're, I don't know, you're looking at your plugins or whatever, and then you want to find something, you go, okay, I want EQ8. Usually then once you've done that, you've got to go and then find, if you press Command F or Alt F, I think it is, or Control F, what it is on Windows, excuse me for not knowing that, it then does it for you. So you can press Control F, Command F to get to the finder, and then Command F again to actually put it to the search bit. That was a long-winded way of saying it, but hopefully you get the idea. And if you're not sure how I'm doing these custom mappings, then if you press Command K or Control K, or you can just come up here and click on it, you can see then the things I've done with Shortcut, but also the transport controls I've got here. And so say like, I don't know, this loop, this would be a good one to do actually. So I'm going to click on the loop icon here, and I'm going to press L, and you can see that that's come up on there. And then when I press take it off again, now when I press L, you can see that the loop bracket is now mapped and assigned to it. So it's simple as that. But then make sure you do save either as a template, which we're going to go on to next, or at least within your own project. Okay, so the second thing is this, it's templates. They're brilliant because they speed up workflow, but creatively they may sort of either stifle a few people because you get stagnant with the same sort of sounds and the same things, same workflow all set up for you, kind of directing you in that direction. So it might be wise to switch them up now and again just to get like a little bit more of freshness, maybe something a little bit different to get your mind thinking that little bit more differently. We've had that caveat in terms of templates and creativity, but now let's have a look at templates in the form of efficiency. So if you want to start building your own template within Live, what you can do is obviously add tracks, things like MIDI tracks and audio tracks by pressing Command T or Command Shift T for a MIDI track, and then you can highlight them both together. You can press Command G to be able to group them, Command R, rename them, so it's like synths, and then you might want to start adding some things like glue compressor to be able to glue everything together on your main group or your bus, as it's called in other DAWs. You may want to think, which we'll look at default states in a sec. But once you've built something and you're really happy with that, what you can do is go to File and then Save as a Live template, which will then come into your user library here. Me, I've just got a default one with stock plugins and things like that. So when I'm away from my Apollo Twin X, it means that I've not got any problems with that. And then I've got a common template. If you see my live stream, you will see that. And for some people, again, you might be thinking, why do we need a template? Well, if you're a producer who's not like me, who's mainly doing lo-fi, so all I need is Imagiro piano or Labs piano and Mondo loop sample pack. That's all I need. But it may be you're a producer who's producing different genres, so you may want different soundscapes, instruments, or processing. For some people, they like a production template and then a mix template, then a mastering template. For me, I just have it in one and whack Ozone 10 on the end. But again, it's whatever works for you, and that's the thing. So kind of work that out. As a secondary to this, I want to talk about default states. Templates might not be your thing. Default states will definitely help. In Ableton Live, what we can do is this. I really want to look at the default state thing, because when you open up Live and add a MIDI track or an audio track, it will just come blank like this. And so you may think, you may want, I don't know, for an audio track, I'd probably want like a tuner on there, utility, EQ. So every time that I open an audio track, that's the default thing that comes. So right click on the audio track, save as default audio track, and then yes, and there you go. Like the next time we do that now, so Command T, audio track, you can see we've got the same processing on that, and that's the same for MIDI as well. Say if you wanted a compressor on there, right click, save default MIDI track, and yes. And so the next time that I press Shift Command and T, you can see that it comes up with that. As mentioned, like on here, before you know it, you can then group stuff and rename it. What processing would you want as a whole for your whole synth sort of tracks? You may want some glue compression, or to EQ and shape it together, or some saturation. Before you know it, if you start to do this, you build in your own template. So you go, okay, great, I really like that. File, save as a live template, and you're good to go. If you've got a favorite at the moment, then save it live as the default set. So then every time you open Live, that will be the one that opens. And within the user library, you can find your templates there as well. Just double click on it if you wanted to like open it. Third thing is this, collections and sound libraries. We all love sample packs. If you've not picked up mine, you can pay what you want. You can even get it for free. And there's going to be another 2 sample packs coming in 2023. We're going to have another drum pack and also a vocal pack, so I'm really excited about getting involved with that. But you know, some days it's one of them where you're trying to sit down, you're trying to create, and it's just a grind, and actually it's not working. And yeah, sometimes you need to push through. But rather than trying to create, sometimes if you can't do that, administrate. Get things in place so when you are in that space again where you're like, right, I really want to go after this, at least you've got all the tools and the samples and the things that you need ready on hand, rather than faffing around again, menu diving and breaking the flow. And in Ableton Live, there's a thing called collections. Here I've got stuff like my kicks, my go-to snares, my go-to sort of toppers and hats and stuff. And again, every few months you might want to refresh it a little bit or review it each year. If collections aren't your thing or you're not in Ableton Live, there are musical database apps that help you from various sources. So you may have some loops from Splice or Loop Cloud, those kind of services, and then you've got your sample packs that are backups on a separate drive, and you've got some of the ones you're working on now, and you can put all of these different areas into one space that's searchable and smart in terms of being able to work out what a kick or what a tom is or snare. So again, you can just narrow down, speed up things rather than sample pack by sample pack and then trying to find where the other one is. Another thing that is in particular with Ableton Live is that you can add folders to your sidebar. So say like the app thing is not your thing, you want to just kind of remain in the door as it were, well, you can start to add your folders where your sample pack locations are. That's again just a real good time saver, and can't encourage this enough. It's really helped me sort of speed up my workflow and stay focused rather than messing around, just endless folders, endless kicks, all that. Another thing when it comes to this adding folders to sidebar, if I come across sounds that I've made or sounds that are presets and I really like, yes, I'm a preset guy as well, it doesn't bother me. What I do is I save them, and so they are ready to go again, just to know that I've got sounds that I like, and I think that can help sort of find your sound. So rather than different sounds every single project, or within the same project, just complete different sounds that you come across, maybe having a few that you kind of keep coming back to can be a little bit of a basis of finding your own sound. So that's maybe worth just checking out. But again, within Ableton Live, you can save them like this, or if you've got like a chain of effects, you could save that with it as well, or you could save effects separately and have a folder for them, folder for your presets on the side, a folder for your go-to sample packs, and then within your collections maybe you could have your highlights of those things. So again, there's so much we can do in terms of speeding things up. It's genuinely so when we are in that creative flow, we're ready, we can go and we can flow with it and go, yep, I know that sound that I want to try and find, yep, great, I'm ready for that kind of snare sound, I've got it in my head, I know that I've got a snare that will kind of fit that. Again, it just makes it more enjoyable rather than, I don't know, just looking through folders all the time. I want to be in the zone, I want to come and create, I want to be excited about what I do. So there you have it, many ways to speed up your workflow, and I hope this has been helpful for you as we seek to be efficient, effective producers. Please do let me know in the comment section below what it is that you're going to implement from these things, or if you have any questions or any suggestions, then you know where to go. And on the way down, why don't you give a little cheeky like on there, and maybe sub if you're new around here. I really appreciate every single one of you. So God bless, love thy producer, nice one, peace.